What's good? Welcome to the Hive Hustle podcast, where we go crazy about street culture. We appreciate you for being here, man. My name's Mafioso. This is my producer, Jordan. What's good? We in here, bro.
We
Another
outside. You already
episode,
know.
And we appreciate y'all for tuning in. So like, subscribe, do all the good stuff you need to do, okay?
Welcome to the show, let us all begin. Introduce a new approach to evolve and win. Taking lead, never stop, can't fall again. Took heed and watched who I called a friend. On a swivel, ain't none of this simple. Rather be at the table, conversing what's beneficial. Put in hard work, unapologetic with your craft. Yeah, the scars hurt, but I won't regret what's in the past.
What's good? I appreciate y'all for tuning in to another episode. Where we talk about dance, crump, roller skating, whatever's clever, whatever has to do with street culture. And today, I have a very special guest, somebody that I've known for like 20 years. I think we met in 06.
Mm-hmm.
My brother Dread. Don't. The Undertaker of all dance, and he's going to kill you and kill you and kill you.
Yeah.
He's going to let you hit the ground, and then he's going to shoot you 7 more times, and then stab you 17, and then go like this.
Yeah.
What up, man?
Insert lightning.
I know, huh?
That's all we need.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good, man. It was a way here.
Hey, I just want you
had
guys
to get in
to
the
know
character.
he came in with the whole setup. I know y'all see my whole setup is changed. I'm gonna like put something in the video to like highlight it. But
Yeah.
we appreciate you for being a part, man.
I appreciate it a lot. I know we've been trying to do this for a while. So.
Dude, I talked to him about doing an episode like
a year ago.
Life is lifing.
Man.
It continues to life.
In the amount of ways that we do not like to talk about on film, but it is definitely lifing for all of us right now.
Yes. But just so you know, Dread, we've talked plenty of times about this podcast and why I do it. You inspired the hell out of me, bro. From one rounding me at the Revolution to...
We're not going to talk about that.
We're not going to talk about that, but we're going to talk about that because it happened. But the fact of the matter is, bro, you've had a tremendously crazy career. Till this day, I feel like you're undervalued in the dance scene, street dance scene specifically. And I wanted to give you your flowers, bro. Not only give you your flowers, but ask some questions that people might not know your input on. You know, I know you go live. I know you talk on the Crumpers page. I know you talk and you have
not as much
platforms.
But I kind of keep stuff.
Look, see, you doing the see before we started filming. I hit my mic and he was making fun of me, and now see,
because I talk a lot with my hands. That's why. But yeah, I used to be very vocal about a lot of things, and then I took a back seat and kind of. I keep certain opinions to myself because leaders don't necessarily talk as much as they lead and watch the foundation, watch the landscape, and move accordingly. So I've been really trying to take a move accordingly type of approach instead of always talking.
I feel like both of us have learned that in the long run. We don't have much different stories. You get what I'm saying? Like we were under a lot of different people. We've gained a lot of knowledge. We both built brands for ourselves that we didn't need anybody else. You know, Mafioso is Mafioso outside of anything else. Dread is Dread outside of anything else. Let's be honest, both of us add value wherever we go. Yeah. So there's not a lot of people that can say they did that.
Not from our era anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So, but getting into it, man, you've been dancing a long time, bro.
Yeah.
I've known you since 06, so, and you were dancing before that.
Yes.
So where did it start?
So let's see. I'd say 2000.
Okay.
Maybe 1999, 2000. I started with just freestyling, popping, locking, b-boying, graffiti, beat street, breaking. I was really watching a lot of the original movies that inspired a lot of people. But I was also watching the greats, MJ, Prince, James Brown, Gregory Hines. I was watching a lot of influential people that were breaking, barriers for African Americans in the movie industry. So I started with that. I was living in the Valley, North Hollywood, And I started, I was in high school, and I remember brand new high school, I think like the first day walking into high school, whole dance circle. I'm a Taurus, man. There's a dance circle, I'm going to it. So I went to the dance circle, and a good friend of mine, his name is Paul Jones. He was crumping and killed off the whole circle. Just everybody was like, all right, we done. And I went up to him. I was like, yo, like, what is this you doing? Like, I ain't never seen this. And, you know, I'm from the Bay Area, so mostly we see hyphy, hip-hop, popping, breaking, all that stuff. Hadn't seen crump yet. So he's like, oh, yeah, you know, I do crump, et cetera, et cetera. I'm like, where can I go and learn that? Mm-hmm. Oh, well, here, take my number. I'll come in and show you. So he was literally the person that introduced it to me. Mm. Like, he was the planter.
Yeah.
Once he planted the seed, it was like it just went from there. Like, all throughout high school, learning, trying to understand it. Then I moved to OC. I got in touch with Jeremy and Jawan. They were a pair of twins. They're my godbrothers. They were under the original Kid Slayer, Exodus.
Yeah.
That was where everything first started. So I had my time in LA where I was like learning, building, trying to find. I was watching all the original DVDs, Shake City, Get Crump, Crump 101. Like, I got everything. And I literally, for days on end, I would sit in my living room and I would watch these DVDs from back to front to back, every single day. Go on the Crump Kings website, watch the introduction of the videos because I couldn't afford the videos. So I was pro Crump so much that by the time I got to Orange County, I was like, oh yeah, I'm already in tune. Where the sessions at? Okay, who got here? And luckily I had like a good 1, 2, 3, 4, about 4 or 5 crumpers on my block. Clayton, who was Rockstar, my other friend who was Jabari, my other friend Alex, Michael, Acolyte. It was like 7 of us, plus the twins, so we'll say 8 or 9. And we sessioned every day. Every single day we were sessioning. Every single week we were sessioning. Session. That's where, at the time, Crump has shifted from just being in LA to now being in Orange County. So we're the young guns that are going to these sessions, and we're seeing Riot, we're seeing Rascal, we're seeing SK, we're seeing Hooligans. We were just in a Carl's Jr. parking lot getting bucked. Then one day they kicked us out. We said, all right, we're going to go to the Best Buy. The Best Buy was right across the street. So it's 7, 8 of us always meeting up every Friday to go session at the Best Buy spot.
Yeah.
From there, stuff it grew because not only did people know we were sessioning there, people started using that spot. Because remember, DFAM time, after the Dunamis session, everybody was going to the OD spot.
Yep.
But then after a while, the OD spot started kind of getting not played out, but it was getting dried out. Security always coming, cops always getting called, and we kept getting kicked out. So where did everybody want to go? And then the one day that we said, hey, you know, there's the Best Buy across the street from the mall. We can go there, and it's out in the open, and there's no houses around. Ever since there, it was like, oh yeah, everybody, Best Buy spot. Everybody go to OD spot. They be there for about 40 minutes. Security, next spot. We go into the Best Buy spot. Then the Best Buy spot got really big, had some really influential battles. From there, I remember I went from there to the Harley Davidson spot, back to the OD spot. This is just in career, like where I was dancing, I was everywhere. Everywhere that had to do with OC, I was going. All the way from Irvine, where Rascal was, Anaheim, OC, where Riot and them was coming. Then I would randomly go back to LA, to the A1A, and then back to OC. So from there, I think I was there a good amount of time, like 3-4 years. And man, from doing that, there was a time where like I wasn't staying at home, so I was couch surfing and just like a real crump head. Like, a lot of people these days don't see that anymore. Crump has become a lot more established. But there were times people was fiending to get to the session, and then, nigga, how we getting home? Well, we gonna have to take the bus. Well, the bus ain't gonna come for an hour and a half. Well, nigga, I'm just about to walk. Hour and a half walking 3-4 miles before a bus come to go another 3-4 miles to get back to where I lived.
I remember those days. Vegas, we had them too.
And
I'm sure every scene had something like that.
I resonate with y'all because the bus system here, let me tell you,
it's horrible.
Whack.
Yeah.
And it was probably even more whack back in that time.
Yeah. We Stevana Vaughn and them, when they were first under me in like 2008, 2009, I lived by South Point.
Oof.
Mind you, this was 2009.
Jesus. South Point.
There was nothing there.
There was nothing.
And so
absolutely nothing
me and Kel, which is Jay Wallow now, but we had an apartment on Silverado Ranch and Las Vegas Boulevard. And they had to take 3 buses, and it took them 4.5 hours to get to my house from Northside. Like
just to
MLK and like Cary.
Bro, what?
Yeah. But this is the dedication that we had growing up because we're kids. We don't.
Well, let's be honest, man. That's why we have the tenacity in the dance that we do. You get what I'm saying? Like, I might not be as active as I am, but you've seen me when somebody talks shit. I'm ready to go.
Oh yeah.
Like, no question about it. Like, okay, you want the rounds? All right, let's go. Like, I'm quick to be ready. So that's because of the era we come from.
Exactly.
You know. Now, let's fast forward a little bit. You are 20 years in. You're over 20 years in.
Sheesh.
You get what I'm saying? Like, it's 2025, bro. I met you in 2026 or 2006. Yeah. So, in reality, you were already 2-3 years in, if I'm not mistaken.
I was 3 years in when you
So,
met
you
me.
started in 03.
Yes.
Okay, so you're 22 years in Crump. Now that you're a leader, in Vegas,
I don't know about that.
Shut the fuck up.
I don't know about that because, people.
In the comments, I know people are going to watch this video. Because it's Dread. In the comments, tell me if he's a leader or not. And we'll let that judge.
My interpretation is, because I'm not from the West Coast. I'm from the East Coast. So Crump, my knowledge of Crump before I moved out here was Rise. Right, like that was my extent. That was the extent that I knew Crump was Rise. Right, so the thing is meeting Dread, being around all of you guys. Honestly, my understanding of what the culture is has shifted drastically. Right, and I feel like anybody who's done anything for 20 years. You have enough knowledge to be able to speak on it, no matter how successful or unsuccessful you are. Like, 20 years is 20 years.
Think about it like this. The guy that works at Walmart that's been a cashier for 20 years, the people that come in listen to him, whether he's in a management position or not. Not saying that that's you. I'm just giving you a correlation.
Because the thing is they were there before a lot of other shit. They've seen how
going on right now.
Exactly.
You had a hand in laying the foundation, whether you were Knucklehead or Dread, whether you were Rapture or Mafioso. You get what I'm saying? Like, nobody can take away what we've done. Like, that's the truth of the matter, bro. And you've done amazing things.
Time in, bro. Because, like, it sounds like to me, again, as an outsider looking in with this culture, right? Everything you just explained to me sounds like you helped pioneer a movement, right?
Yeah.
Because my understanding is Crump originated in L.A.
Yeah.
And then you guys moved it to O.C.
Yeah.
Right? You and the group of people you just named helped it become what it is in OC, and then now today it's transitioned nationally and even globally, right? So I think, and again, I don't know all of the history, but based on the story that you're telling me now, it sounds like you helped pioneer the movement, or you were at least a part of it.
I would definitely say I was a part of it.
You might not be the king and queen.
No,
of
course. But the thing is everybody.
Let's be honest.
The only reason I don't say that because in positions you have, just like a basketball team, you have people that play positions, and my position was just being active and trying to be an example.
Let's say this: you might not be the king, but you were definitely a fucking rook.
You might not be. You
weren't a
might not be.
fucking dog.
You might not
You
be
get my
Michael
point?
Jordan.
Yeah.
You know what
Like
I mean?
you were fucking at least a bishop.
Yeah.
Like you was at least going diagonal, motherfucker.
Yeah, you wasn't Michael Jordan, but you definitely Steve Kerr on the bench making an impact. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't win a championship without Steve Kerr. You know,
Literally.
the culture doesn't shift without you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
ultimately-
So I think like sorry to cut you off, but I think
No,
like
you're good. I think part of it is just me being humble, but part of it is me from our years understanding that like there were the main people migrating, then there was like a comet. There's a comet that makes the impact, and then there's the tail that shows where the impact is going. I was a very bright flame on that tail of where things were going. Now, I definitely set the table for things in the OC area, but I still had my OGs, Riot, Rascal, Warrior, different people who were the mainframe, but I was still one of those legs where you knew where you were going.
if I could maybe speak to this too, do you feel like, and again, this is going to be a quick tidbit because I don't want to get too deep, but do you feel as though, because I know in other scenes this matters, do you feel like your humility comes from the fact that it matters more to those other people that you say their name versus yours? So let me get a little more specific, right? There are certain OGs and certain cultures who, for lack of a better term, get off on hearing that, yeah, I helped pioneer this movement. Yeah, without me, there is no this, that, and the other. Whether that's true or not, or whatever that extent is, right? Like, they need that in order to function. They need that to justify their time, energy, and effort within the scene. So do you feel that you're being humble to appease that? Because, like I said, as an outsider, you're telling me this story. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. I'm bumping elbows with somebody who helped pioneer the shift in the culture that now is global, right? Because if I heard you correctly, like I said before, it was only in LA. And then it shifted to OC, and you were a part of that. And then it began to spread more and more and more.
Well,
so that's why I say, like, and you said it's you being humble, but I feel like it's fair to say that it sounds like,
because Chaz and them going from LA to OC was the initial spread.
Chaz is Tie Dyes, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So Tie Dyes had the initial spread. He was taking it different places, going to different cities, battling different people, stuff like that. My contribution was the arena we set for people to come and have those battles. So I didn't necessarily, let's go over here and see. No, that was what the OGs and the pioneers did. What I specifically had a hand in was, hey, the OD spot getting crazy is getting shut down all the time. After the Dunamis session, where are we gonna go? Oh, well, we got a spot that we go to.
Not only that, Dread, I'm gonna cut you off. You threw the 818 for God knows how fucking long, bro.
Oh, that's an interesting story.
Like, he talks about OC, but there was a point in time where every single Wednesday for probably 5 years straight, bro, he was the one hosting the 818.
I think it was like 4. Yeah.
And that's a session or an event?
A session.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
bro,
for
it's
sure.
an event. Literally, if you live in LA,
The 818
the
is
818
the place.
is the crump place. Like, you have to go to the 818 if you go to a crump event in LA.
Like
if
a
you're
rite of
there,
passage.
if you're there all week, Wednesday night you're gonna be at the 818. That's how important the 818 is to LA crump.
Got it. Okay.
You get what I'm saying? There's certain places in LA that, like, you gotta go if you go crump.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta go to 818. You gotta go to the DC session. Those, for me, I know that I have to do that if I go out to LA.
Tuesdays have Beast Camp.
And that's when
used
he's
to have
throwing
the
them. It
consistent
was for
beat camp.
so long, but he slowed down because obviously they're doing different things. But the fact of the matter is, there's certain places, just like in Vegas, at one point in time, there was like, okay, if you're going to Vegas for Crump, you got to go to the Arc. You get what I'm saying? Right now, it's you got to hit the Hype Street.
Mm-hmm.
Right, exactly.
John is laying that foundation. You get what I'm
For
saying?
sure, yeah.
But there's seasons, and there was a point in time for at least 5 years, this man was throwing an 818. He
Now,
moved here,
and the
and
818
Rowdy
is-
took it over.
Got it, okay.
To
So
touch on that, what's crazy about that is that session had really slowed down barely anybody was going. Thank you. Barely anybody was going in that session, and technically my birthday would have made it like almost 8-9 years if I was still in LA that I had brought back that 818 feeling. I remember it clearly. It was my birthday. It was me, Crucial, Unknown, Putch, who's Monster Beast now. He used to be under me, and two other people, Corpse.
Yeah.
And it was 6 of us. And it was just a birthday session for me, and we went to the 818. I said it was the 818. 2 people from DC showed up. The rest of us was just my homies, little homies, and people from Oxnard. I literally remember we were having that session, blasting the music, getting off. We was getting so loud, the firehouse across the street called them to tell us to turn the music down, and a helicopter came with the spotlight while we're getting off. Crazy scenery. And after that time, I consistently, all right, every week, let's do it, to the point where people started hearing about it and started coming out of the woodworks and coming back to that original parking lot session.
Yep.
Little Rowdy, even when he got off tours and he had time,
He would come.
He would come. And
Like,
then when
there's
he
been
officially
people
came
at the
back,
818, bro, when Chris Brown was on tour in LA, Sketch and all them brought Chris Brown to the 818.
That's heavy.
So, like, that's how, like, people that have matter, like Omarion's, not saying that other people don't matter, but people that are in the music industry and things of that sort know about the 818 when it comes to crunk.
Heavy hitting
Exactly.
Shout out to
artists.
people like Lil C, Sketch, and Herc that really,
bring people around.
into
You know what
the
I'm saying?
industry.
They're in the industry, so they're like, all right, I'm a crumper. I'm chilling tonight with this person, so I'm going to bring them to the 818.
For sure, yeah.
Like, so, but now that we're in this talk about how you're a leader, you're a pioneer in your own way, how do you feel and how do you view your crump, like your role in crump today? And like, what responsibilities come with being seen as leader?
I mean, there's a lot of different interpretations to what a leader is. And for me, my interpretation of it has changed a lot over the years. I think for me, first off, my role is to be a standard, to be an example, to be not a placeholder, because that sounds very dormant, but like a constant. Anytime you go anywhere in the West Coast, you're gonna hear my name. You're gonna know who I am. You're gonna know what I've done. And when you see me dance in person, you're gonna feel that 22, 23 years of consistent loyalty, but just consistent work. Like, it takes a lot to put 20-something years into something.
Into anything.
Into anything. Like 10,000 hours, yes, it's mandatory. But 20-something years, you do 20 years of anything, you're going to get somewhere.
Yeah.
Am I where I want to be?
Do the math
No.
off the top of your head. 20 years, 24 hours, that's 480 hours, or 480,000 hours.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That you've put into
Being
this.
And
You know what I
this
mean?
is
And it's
coming-
crazy. You could say that out loud, that you've put 480,000 hours to this, and people in Mafioso still think you're undervalued.
Yeah.
That's actually insane to say out
Very.
loud.
I tell people that all the time. There's a lot of dancers in Vegas specifically that are undervalued. Like, our scene in general, the OGs that have come from this scene, like, people don't really think about this, but like, Poppin' Pete lives here. Mr. Wiggles lives here.
Exactly.
Like, I
The
went to
fact
high
that
school.
Poppin'
I went to
Pete
high school
just
with their
shows up
kids.
is like,
It's insane.
I went to
yeah.
high school with Unico and Shoney, Poppin' Pete and Mr. Wiggles' sons, and I went to Poppin' Pete and Mr. Wiggles' house when I was in high school to learn popping. You get what I'm saying? So, like, Vegas has a rich history, and that's another reason, like I've always said, why I started my podcast. Because I feel like so many people in our street culture don't get their fucking flowers until they're dead.
yeah.
Facts, bro. It's crazy because I had
Perfect example right here.
Exactly.
You get
know
my
what I mean?
point? Like, he was an amazing addition to our scene. And people are now giving the flowers that he deserves, which he deserved them way before he passed. And that's my goal with this.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
I feel like on him, he was respected and loved by everybody that he came into contact with, and people that he didn't even know. He's getting twice as much now that he's gone.
Yeah.
And he still deserves.
Yeah, because you can't even give it to him.
Yeah, like
you would
his memory,
if you see him. Yeah,
his son, his Auntie Val, like even Auntie Val just being the partner of someone like that and coming into the scene and creating such a magnificent energy in a boy who's literally taken the world by the horns and doing something that like no one since Ruck Boy has done.
Yeah.
Like really
That's
changing.
the truth of the matter, Leia, because Ruck Boy came in as a baby.
Exactly. And
Fudd,
now Disco.
Fudd brought his sons in the crump.
Oh, yeah, the twins.
Yeah.
Or not the twins, but the brothers,
Yeah,
right?
brothers.
What
Yeah.
people don't really understand, bro, is Fudd brought them kids in as babies. They were walking
Legitimately.
and crumping.
Yeah, Vince was kind of giving me like a brief history
Fudd
on
is
that.
Ruck
Because
Boy.
Evil Ryu and
Evil
Ruck
Ryu,
Boy
Ruck
was
Boy.
about as tall as that table
Yeah,
when he
when
first
he started
started.
crumping.
He was that
crazy.
tall.
Isn't Disco's son like that age
That's
now
what we're
too?
saying.
Yeah, that's
Now
what we're
Disco
saying.
is
Now
doing
we
the
have
same
a
thing.
new. It's like Puda is now the new. Back then he was Mini Slot.
Yeah.
He's the new
Like,
version.
he's the baby.
He's the baby.
There's always
that's-
Crump. Crump has a son in seasons.
Got it.
You get what I'm saying? Like there was a point in time where T-Fly was that son.
Yeah.
He was the kid that Todd Eyes was training,
Mm-hmm.
like your protege. Ruck Boy became that protege. Even Vegas had a protege at one point in time. You know what I'm saying? And then there's our protege was like Caden, Baby Suave back then. You know what I'm saying? Noel, Diamond, Leo, like all those were kids we were training. And now they're adults crumping. You know, like Ruck Boy was that kid. Evil Ryu was that kid. And Puda is that kid now. Like he doesn't understand the responsibility that's going to be on his shoulders if he decides to continue to crump. Obviously, he has other hobbies and other things he loves to do.
Yeah, because he's still a kid at the end of the day.
Same thing with Brendan. You know what I'm saying? Thing with Ruck Boy. Ruck Boy is literally going to college for football right now. Like he has
Doing
an
music,
ability. He has an
football.
ability to be able to literally go to the NFL with no problem. In my
We get a
personal
crumper
opinion.
in the NFL. Hey,
So,
I
but,
think we did something right.
Lastly, before we go to this break, and we're gonna step on this more deep into the third section of the episode. But if I'm not mistaken, I've heard you speak about like you having a disorder.
Yep.
Okay. I don't know what it is. I hear you talk about it all the time, and I don't exactly know. So can you tell us the disorder and what it is and what it does to you? And then in the second part of the episode, we'll go deep into it.
So the actual name of it is cystic fibrosis.
Okay.
It's
Is it
literally
like an arthritis, so to speak?
It is a terminal illness that is DNA inherited.
Okay.
You can only receive it through birth. It is a disorder, a disease that...
I believe it's connected to the sickle cell trait, right? Or something like that.
No, it's something completely different. So what it does is it causes your DNA chromosome to mutate, and that mutation is what makes your body overproduce mucus, stunts growth. It's guy was born with gastrointestinal failure, lung failure. My body overproduces mucus, overproduces stomach acid. I can't digest food without medication. I can't breathe without lung medication. Like it's a whole thing. And like most people with that illness don't even live to see 5, don't even live to see 10. And here I am in about less than 2 weeks hitting 36.
Amen.
So
Time's flying, man.
yeah,
Well,
It's crazy.
retail.
We gonna hit a quick commercial break, y'all. We'll be right back. Pay attention to this stuff because it's very important. We'll be right back.
What does it mean to live the culture? At Swarm Brand, it's more than style. It's a movement. Born from the streets, every piece we create reflects the energy, rhythm, and soul of street culture. Bold graphics, fresh designs, each one tells a story of self-expression and individuality. This is more than just clothing. It's a lifestyle fueled by hip-hop and street dance. So are you ready to embrace the streets? Swarm Brand. Join the movement.
Welcome back. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. I am your host, Mafioso. This is the Hive podcast. I'm with my bros, Jordan.
Yeah.
Co-host. And
Yeah.
Dread, Man, Violent Crush.
Dread,
and
Man.
Everything else.
Just
know he
everything.
gonna get off on you.
Just everything.
Putting it out there, you got more names than Diddy, nigga. Like, what's going on?
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. If there's been anybody that has had more big homie names than you, I don't know who it is. You have had a lot of big homie names.
Yeah, I would say I have evolved a lot over the years.
Yeah.
For sure. Is that a positive or a negative thing in the
It
crump
depends
scene?
on what you consider.
Gotcha.
Because I've had multiple names. I've had multiple big homie names. Like when I was younger, and my thing is I tell people all the time, the people that have had multiple names or that think of multiple characters, most likely they've gone through a lot of stuff in their life. Because it has to do with a life-changing thing that happens, and then you end up changing your name or something of the sort. Or you just get a dope idea, you run with it for 6 months, be like, I don't want to do this no more.
And then you change it. Got it.
Think about it. People change jobs all the time.
Facts.
You get what I'm saying? So, like, my very first crump name was Gimmick, Gymik, which made no fucking sense. But it was my name for like almost 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, in reality, that's who I was. And then when 2012 hit, I was under Simeon, and I was like, you know what? Like, let me actually think of a name that makes sense and has a character, and there's a reason behind it.
Has a connection.
Yeah. The reason I called myself Gimmick was because I was a gimmick on the dance floor. Like, I would walk up to the circle, and people would think, who the hell is this white guy? He can't dance. And then next thing you know, I'm killing him off. So that's where the concept came from. It was like a joke, but it didn't go past that.
Got it. Nobody ever kind of
Mafioso.
took you seriously.
Not only that, it was a matter of, like, character-wise, building a character in Crump. What was that?
Excuse me? Hello? Jesus?
There's a
God,
ghost in
God,
here.
talk to us.
Ghost was
But
trying to
about your names,
Dread,
Violent Crush.
Violent Crush, Ultra. If you want to go back to the beginning, it was General Buck. That was the first name I ever had. First name I ever thought of for myself.
General Buck is
General
OD.
Buck, and then Armageddon.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Didn't know that one. I
Yeah.
think I met you when you were Exodus.
Yeah. So funny story about that was I was young Exodus at the time, and then when Junior and Little, who were my god brothers, when they decided to quit, and Kid Slayer had moved on, he wasn't dancing anymore. I said, I'm not letting the name die. So I became Exodus. I was Exodus for years.
Then it was Eli.
Then so that was the first evolve from Exodus. I actually gave the name to someone in Japan who's now my little homie. So he became Exodus, so I passed it on to him. I became Eli, which was an abbreviation for Embracing Light Infinitely. And I kept that name for X amount of years till 2011, 2012.
I am Dread.
Yeah. I did 2 years.
can watch
It was
that.
It was 2 years, and then I did the 2014 realm,
And he
the realm
won.
that no one thought.
fucked
The
everybody
first
up.
Crump tournament in LA that mattered,
He fucked everybody.
and
up.
I went through everybody.
Weren't you Little Option at that time?
No, I got to be Little Option after that.
Yeah. It's because it literally Matt Hatter was like, oh, I got to pick
Yeah,
you up now.
so 2 years just going, and then
and he
did that,
stuck with Dread.
and I
Okay.
stuck with Dread, and I've
Until
stuck
he
with
became
Dread.
Little Concrete.
Yeah,
And I was Junior Concrete.
and then
And
after
then
the
he became,
concretes,
Ultra Concrete.
and then that's where Ultra came from.
So we're like 13 names deep. That's OD.
well,
That's
some of the
crazy.
names. So the little homie names are separate from just the big homie name. Big homie names, I didn't
I've
have
had
as many.
like 7, 8 big homies.
Yeah.
Bro.
Jeez Whiz.
Yeah.
But that's good, though. Like,
Yeah.
because all that knowledge and different viewpoints
Yes.
on the culture and everything like
I
that.
tell
it
people all the
definitely
time,
helps.
I'm like, people that have been under one person, it's great. You know what I'm saying? It's really good. Nowadays, it's different because I
is.
could be under somebody and go take a workshop from Spartan.
It wasn't like that
In
back
2011, 2010, it wasn't like that. Like, there weren't workshops every week in your local community for you to be able to take from different dancers. It was literally you were under this person, you trained with them, you trained in their garage, and you were
trained
there
with
camp.
the fam, and you was
that
with
was
the fam
it.
all
You
the
didn't
time.
go. Only people you really took from was like people like Tight Eyes, Miho, Miss Prissy. If they taught like workshops
or the
in
top
Crump,
guys.
I hope you guys know. If you don't know this in Crump, workshops in Crump, there was not a workshop until 2012 when Tight Eyes taught at AB. No, when he taught at HHI in 2012. That was the very first Crump workshop that the public had access to. That it wasn't, hey, I'm going to Tight Eye's house to lab. Really think about it, bro.
That's insane.
I feel like there was one before that.
No.
Because remember, he wasn't teaching, and then he went overseas.
I'm
and
talking about
everything.
in the USA.
I know I'm saying, but after he came back from the USA, I think it was like 2010, he did a small one.
He might have.
He did.
Maybe
I
at
remember,
Millennium or something like that.
Yeah, because I remember I took one
is
from him that was...
is away from LA, and a public one that you can go to that wasn't like an inner circle was the one that we took, and it was down the street from here at Lake Las Vegas, and it was the HHI workshop he taught.
Insane.
It was the very first Crump workshop that was at like a convention, and it was him. And I remember because me, Wipeout, Vaughn, AJ, and all of us went to the workshop, and that's when I met the guy that's combat mafioso right now. He used to be twin mafioso from Africa. I met him there, and that was the year we started One Round.
Okay.
So, and that was when those workshops, remember, we were throwing workshops in Vegas for Joey, Randall, Kevin.
Yeah.
All of them were teaching out here on a consistent basis. We had Yahya teach in Vegas. Beast consistently.
I was there
taught.
for one of them.
A lot of them. You know what I'm saying? They were happening at our church, all of that. But it's all started with Tight Eye. So literally Crump on a scale of teaching, knowledge-wise, has only been open for 13 years.
It's nuts.
Before that, we were swinging and doing moves how we felt the need to do them.
You were
we were
learning
getting little
from your
bits of
perspective
information
people.
from people.
And in certain Crump areas had Crump communities. So even if you didn't have a big homie, you were
could learn from the
living
community.
around the community and
Yeah.
being around the community for X amount of time. Because back then, Crump was a little bit more sacred. It was a little bit more like if you had a big homie, little homie situation, and then you had people outside of that, there was a certain level of lab you was not allowed to be around because you were not in that fam.
Yeah, exactly.
Fams were like closed off. Fam labs was different from just a lab where big homies and little homies mixed in. It was like if it was a fam lab, you're not allowed. You're not fam. You're not in this fam.
And it's no disrespect. I mean, that's how you run it now. Yeah.
I haven't stopped.
Even
If it's my fam, if it's
sometimes
my
I
fam or
crash
my
the
crew.
lab, but that's just because Mafioso is nice to me. But I don't do it anymore. I respect.
feel
I,
like
res-
it'd be
I
up to
respect
the
it.
discretion of whoever the big
Yeah.
homie is.
Yeah, but
you know what I
at
mean?
the same time, a lot of us older people, we understand. Oh, Mafioso having a fam lab. Okay, that's just fam.
Yeah.
Now, if he's just throwing a lab, okay,
That's
yeah,
different.
pull
Yeah.
up. But if he's,
So to
You know.
these flash questions though,
let's go.
music or silence, what hits harder?
Music or silence? What hits harder? I would say for me right now, silence.
I didn't expect that.
Curious.
Because
Do you care to elaborate?
silence silence hits harder for me because that's when your mind starts to go on a roller coaster. You start thinking not only about the day, but years and years of things that you've done, places that you've been, especially when you're driving. Driving in silence is sometimes some of the most hard-hitting but rewarding.
Cathartic. Yeah, it's very cathartic.
Because you're driving, you see
Every
something.
day after work, I drive in silence.
You see something, and it'll trigger a memory in your mind, and you're just sitting there like, man, I remember this. So I'll say silence.
Okay.
I respect that. I mean, for me, I think it's like the opposite. Like, I think for me, music hits harder because if I'm in silence, you know, not to get preachy, but they say that idle mind is the devil's workshop. You know what I mean? So sitting in silence and everything, not only in a positive light, can be cathartic, and you're just reminiscing and just really being grateful and thankful for what you have and what's in front of you, being present. but it also can carry you. And it say your day didn't have the greatest day. You know what I mean? Now you start thinking of all the downfalls, all the shortcomings, and everything like that. And I feel like music, the right song, can carry you through that. You know, even through a good day or a bad day or whatever it may be. And it also allows you to still be present, still be in the moment, but at the same time, like, also be able to appreciate, you know, what has happened, and like, damn, maybe I didn't have the greatest day, but, you know, what can I do better? Where can I do this? And then, you know, go from there. But I agree that cathartic silence is
what's
very
crazy
great.
for me is I have more negative memories from music than I do from silence.
That's crazy.
That I have more like
That's super
I hear songs and it reminds me of certain times where I was just not happy. So I don't when I want to be happier, silence.
Turn the TV off.
Turn the TV off. Turn the TV
What
off.
was your one of your flash questions?
So my fun question, Dead Man or American Badass?
Ooh, Dead Man.
Really?
Dead Man.
I don't know, bro. I'm an American Badass guy, bro.
Now this is my thing with it. Cause I'm currently in transition of that in my character where the Phenom is the event side, but sometimes even in the event atmosphere, you need someone that just doesn't care and is just gonna ride in and whoop ass. For that, yes.
Yeah, I think because the way I look at Crump events, right? I feel like y'all's events are really like pay-per-views, like no bullshit. Like,
That's how
and
I
I
feel.
think like when you pull up to regular battles, you specifically, when you pull up to regular battles, it's American Badasses. I'm just here to take heads off. You know what I mean? But we have time to prepare. We have time to, you know who your opponent is. You know where you're going to be. You know the environment. Yep. That's when the Phenom or the Dead Man makes sense. But I like American Badass for you better because that's the version of you I know. Right? Yeah. And not to say that I watch you. Yeah, not to say that I don't watch your battles and everything like that, because of course I do, because you're a friend and a brother. But I personally think that it suits you to be the American Badass because even in the Undertaker's time as the American Badass, he was the locker room leader. He was the guy that was doing the wrestler's court, that was giving out all the scrolls and also helping to mitigate any problems that were being had. So it's like, I feel like when you come to the sessions, when you come to anything, you know what I mean? I feel like you're the equalizer. You know what I'm saying? So I think American Badass makes more sense. But I respect the Phenom as well.
I'm Attitude Era all day.
Come
so
on
it's
now.
like I love him. I
Come on
personally,
now.
what's crazy is now if you were to ask me Undertaker the Phenom theme or the American Badass theme,
What?
I say American Badass theme
What?
or the Phenom. But for character purposes and what I enjoy the most, always the Dead Man.
Hell yeah, I
That's
feel
just
that.
me.
Who's one crumper you respect on the dance floor, but you just can't mess with on a personal level?
I thought my question was gonna put you on the spot, but damn.
And what I mean, let me elaborate on the question, because I don't mean personal level like you have a problem with them, like your personalities don't clash, like your personalities clash, like you just don't get along with. Because I have people that in Crump that I don't get along with. You get what I'm saying? And you're an amazing dancer, but we just don't mesh. You get what I'm saying?
Probably Ruin.
Mine's the same.
I've never met Ruin before. I think I maybe have met him once.
Now, my thing is,
I hear, this is a sentiment I hear a lot, that it's like he either fucks with you or he doesn't.
Yeah.
And it's like I think I've met him one time, and it was a quick like, you know, nice to meet you, but you know,
like for me, and let me be clear about this, because God knows somebody's gonna say something.
Of course.
I respect the shit out of Ruin. And Ruin is also another one of those locker room leaders because he just doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't. And he's going to do what he wants to do.
And I think that's why all of us are like that with each other.
Yeah, that's just
fair.
that's just how we came up. But the reason why our personalities don't mesh is because I think we look at certain principles different. For me and for him, and because we look at certain principles different, we on a personal level just don't oil and vinegar.
Yeah, makes sense.
We just don't. And it's
And
not like I got a problem with him. It's just I know we don't. I know our morals are different. I come from a different space than what he does when it comes to this crump shit. And if I'm being frank, he went through a lot to get to where he is. He just didn't have to go through what I went through.
Fair.
So it's
fair.
different tier levels.
Of course, yeah.
I tell people this. I say, I don't think people have caught this like metaphor yet, but Crump is high school. If we're on a basketball team or we're in a high school, there's going to be your clique. There's going to be people you don't get along with. There's going to be people you're like, yo, you're a dope basketball player, but I don't fucking like you. Like,
Fair.
It's going to happen. And I think that my maturity level where I've gone to now in the past like 2 years is I've came to that conclusion, and I can respect you as a dancer, but I don't have to like you, bro. I'm turning 39 in 2 weeks, bro, which Taurus gang, bros.
You already know.
But like, I'm not gonna fake the funk. If I don't like you, I don't like you.
Yeah, you
And
gotta
the funny part is
you gotta
like, for
separate
me,
the art
I
from the
cannot
artist.
like you. I still am gonna shake your hand. Hey, what's up?
Exactly. I'm
How you
still gonna
doing? How's
dap
your
you
day?
up,
Because
all that.
Because the funny part is like, even though I don't mesh with him, I've heard and seen things that he's gone through that makes me as a human being say, how are you doing?
Empathize with him.
You're good?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's all we got. We ain't got to have no long ass
I feel
conversation.
like when you realize that as a dancer, you can be in these spaces alone and be okay. Because so many people, they don't understand that by itself. It's like, hey, I can, for instance, me and Snoop's beef, when we went through that whole beef situation. And then I ended up same year giving him Crumper of the Year. And people were wondering, like, why'd you do that? I'm like, because regardless of how I feel about him,
it doesn't take away from
doesn't
all
take
the
away
work
from his
he's
work
doing.
and what he's doing.
Separate the art from the artist.
Exactly.
That's what you gotta do.
And don't get me wrong, when it comes to certain things, you can't do that.
Like
Don't
R.
be
Kelly.
touching on kids, bro. You get what I'm saying? But the fact of the matter is
We're not saying Walao does that, just so you know. We're just
that's not what I'm saying at
Yeah.
all. What I'm saying
We're
is
just making
that
sure we
draws
make that
the line
clear.
for me. Like,
we're just make sure we make that
I
clear.
can separate
don't-
the art
don't
from
pull a
I can
R-
separate
yeah,
the
don't pull
art
a
from
R.
the
Kelly.
person. Like, you literally.
No
You get
Diddy.
what I'm saying?
No Diddy, no R.
Like,
Kelly, no
that's
nothing.
so hard. That specific situation with R. Kelly, I love his music. It's so hard for me to listen to it now. You get what I'm saying? But when it's not that deep, when it's I just don't agree with you, I can separate the art from the person. You get what I'm saying?
Hell
and
yeah.
that's what we can do with Ruin. That's what I could do that with Todd Eyes. I don't like him at all. If I see him, I would literally, I don't know what would happen.
Probably start convulsing.
I don't know. But ultimately, that's the truth of the matter. I don't like him. But I can
Nigga
watch
start
his footage
shaking.
and I can still learn from it.
Todd Eyes is just one of those people. When you understand what he's done, what he's contributed, what he's gone through, it starts to become a thing where it's not about if you like him. It's just, as you used to tell me, just pray for him.
Yeah.
Because that man has carried all of us for 20-something years. Throughout anything he's done, he's carried this movement. And now we got more of the creators back. We got Miho, we got Prissy, we got C. Slayer's doing character stuff, even with
the belt and
with
everything.
the belts and everything. It's like we have the other pieces. Let him rest. Let him do what he wants to do in his corner, and just let him be him.
Because I'm not understanding the whole false prophet thing. Like
the only thing I'm gonna say about that is he's not a false prophet, but he believes something. And if you were really, for us as minority, a man's gonna believe what a man is gonna believe. Now, what that does to the rest of the crump world, that's for the crump world to decide. But people like us in the crump movement, believe what you feel you need to believe to be a good person. Just don't force it on anybody else.
Yeah. I tell people this all the time. I say, when it comes to like the false prophet stuff, take religion out of it. Let's take that. Let's take that simple statement. Take religion out of it. Who is Ty-Dice as a person? You get what I'm saying? As a dancer. Like, that's what I respect. Because the whole religion thing, I love him to death, but it's a facade, and it does this.
It's muddy
We've
water.
seen it. We've seen it before, and this is on wax. So the fact of the matter is somebody's going to watch this. The fact is I've seen Ty-Dice go through this multiple times. So there's going to come a point in time where it's going to switch again. And then when it happens, it happens. And we just have to be okay with it because that's that man's life, and can't nobody tell him nothing.
Facts.
He ain't paying his bills. So
no, facts.
I tell people all the time, I said, I went through the same thing. There was a point in time where everybody lost faith in me. And they were like, Mafioso's a fraud. Mafioso's this. Mafioso's that. But then when I figured my shit out and came back, now I'm here. The fact of the matter is everybody has to go through that mud. Give empathy. Give grace. If you're in his inner circle, check him like you need to check him. But when we're out here, we have no part in that. He ain't feeding me, fucking me, or financing me. What the hell do I care about it?
Yeah, that second one would be crazy.
Well, that'd be crazy as fuck.
Whoa.
Pause. But that's the truth of the matter.
Diddy
The
is
3
real.
F's. We know it. Like if
It's
you
a fact.
ain't like, I don't care what you got to say.
You see it. You
Oh,
see it.
Mafioso over there
You
adding
see
his
it.
2
You-
cents.
come on, you see
We don't
it.
give you a mic and a camera.
Yeah, you see it.
He's
my
on the
my last question. Again, this is one of those ones that might put you on the spot a little bit. What's
We
more
gonna go to a
annoying?
commercial break after
Yeah,
this
after
one.
this one. Yeah, let y'all sit on this one. What's more annoying? As this is kind of a 2-part question from a judge's perspective, because I know you've judged a lot, and from a participant's perspective. What's more annoying? A person that comes up to you and asks you, what could I do better? And you give them that advice and they just scoff and blow you off. They're like, yeah, whatever, bro. Or from a performer's perspective, the judge telling you, I just think he grooved more, or some shit that don't make no sense that we hear all the time. Like, yeah, yo, he just had more sauce than you. Like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, what's more annoying from those perspectives for you?
Let's see. I think from the judging perspective, I don't mind people blowing off what I say anymore. The reason I don't mind that is because as long as I tell you and there's a seed planted, someone that you respect is going to water the same seed that I put in there, and something's going to grow from it. So as long as I tell you, it's inevitable that at some point in your career, you're going to finally figure that out.
Probably
Because
not.
there's a lot of times that people judge and they say things and people ignore it. It takes their favorite dancer to tell them the same exact thing for them to really grasp it.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that because at the end of the day, when that person really grows, he's going to remember and he's going to say, nah, he told me first, I didn't really believe it. And then this person told me. And because 2 people confirmed it to me, I knew it to be true. Whereas from a performer's perspective, when you have people that are judging you, first of all, I had to do a lot of work to accept this, but I am at your judgment. So if you think something, oh effing well. Second, when people say, oh, he just grooved more. Oh, he just did this. Oh, the worst one I hear is, oh, well, I've seen you go crazier than that.
Oh,
Judges,
I hate hearing that.
What does that even mean?
I'm
Like, what?
gonna tell people who are judges now. Stop judging off of people's careers and start judging on the battle in the moment. I don't care how many tournaments I've won. I don't care how many times you've seen me go ape crazy. I don't care how much you've seen the crowd interact with me. If I'm choosing to be strategic and use skill and not just go for the moment, you should be able to respect that in my artistry and see if that person can match it and really judge. Now, did he just go gusto for the moment, or did he really take his time and really do it? Because a person can have more groove than me, but if their skill and their technique is not on a 9-10 level, why are we judging a tie?
Facts.
That doesn't make any sense.
So last part of the question, Maf, you can jump in and answer this too. Do you feel like, regardless of accomplishments, anybody who's been dancing for 10 plus, 15 plus years, are they qualified to judge regardless of their style?
Yes and no. This is why. Yes, you are qualified to judge because you've put in the time. No, you could not be qualified to judge because what
are your
accolades do
qualifications?
you have? A lot of people that judge don't even have the same accolades as the warriors in the freaking arena. I've won tournaments from here to Japan and back. I've been on world stages and out of 300 people, top 8 in the world in Europe. So you're telling me in this little battle, in this little pond, this person is a 9 to 10 to my 6 to 8, and you haven't even won a tournament yet?
Facts.
That doesn't make sense. But that's just kind of the landscape.
I always ask this because most of you guys know I've been in the scene about the same amount of time, 20 plus years, right? My background, because of my parents and stuff, I wasn't allowed to go to a lot of stuff. But I was always around, right? And I also followed the path of college and went the businessman route and things like that. So dance, I was always around, but I never was able to participate, right? But I know a lot of shit, and I got a lot of knowledge. So if I was sitting across from you, and I judged, and I said 1, 2, 3, and pointed the other way, and I broke it down and explained to you, and you've been around me in a personal setting, so you know how I analyze shit. Would you respect that?
I think,
or someone like me. It doesn't have to be me.
no,
Somebody
I mean,
in my
either
position.
way, I think that just comes with maturity, and I think it comes with understanding that you could possibly see something that I don't see. I think as long as it's
I'm a footage guy too.
I'll
pull the tape up.
And that's, I respect more people that'd be like, if I don't agree with it, pull up the tape, show me. Like if you show me and I see it and I'm like, okay, that might be something.
That opens the door for discussion and debate, and that's how you
piggyback off
grow.
of what Dredd is saying, and to kind of like talk about this point specifically, is you said something when you told him. You said, if I explain to you why, would you respect it? That's the defining factor. You're not saying, hey, he grooved more than you.
Exactly.
And that's the defining factor of why he would respect it. Because I've been in battles where Dredd has literally murdered the other person, and then all of a sudden the person votes for the other person.
3, 2, 1, this way.
And I'm looking at all the judges like, the fuck is wrong with you? And I even, at one of the battles, have walked up to him and said, why didn't you vote for Dredd there? And they couldn't explain it to me.
Yeah, call that man Violent Swindle.
That's his name.
That's his new corrupt name, Violent Swindle.
To answer your question is, believe it or not, I have the same accolades as him, but he's more popular than me. So more people.
I'm in the eye more than him.
So in that same sentence, I'm judging the R&Bs, and I guarantee people ain't happy about that.
That's your event, though.
Exactly. First and foremost, is my event. I'm gonna fuck what you think. But the fact of the matter is I know in my heart of hearts that I can judge correctly.
Facts.
And the way I run my events is different than every single other person. What people don't really understand is to differentiate from that factor alone of like the confusion is you have the judges state before prelims what the hell they are judging on. Because then that person that's in the prelims can say, okay, if Mafioso is judging on levels, timing, character, musicality, and kill-offs, and Fries is judging on this, and this, I know if I mixed a bunch of this stuff and they can be strategic in the battle. But battles don't do that.
That's a fact.
Which is why you need to come to the R&Bs.
That's right.
And on that note, we're going to go to a commercial break. We'll be right back, y'all. Y'all like that plug.
Yeah, I can't stand it.
Looking to level up your brand? Swarm Branding has got you covered. Whether it's graphic design that brings your ideas to life, web design that turns clicks into customers, print media to make a lasting impression, or pay-per-click campaigns that delivers results, we specialize in taking your brand to the next level. At Swarm Branding, we combine creativity, strategy, and expertise to create tailor-made solutions for your business. Visit us at swarmeverything.com or call 702-758-5591 to start growing your brand today. Swarm Branding. Let's create together.
Yeah. Say it right
Like,
now. Tell everybody.
So just for all the people that judge, if you're gonna judge
Welcome back, by the way.
crumpers, we should see you in our sessions, or you should be coming up to us asking us what these movements mean so you can judge effectively. Because the thing that pisses us off the most is that we put 10,000 hours into a dance style that you choose not to understand because it's hip hop all day. Stop doing that.
Yeah.
Facts.
Please.
That's a big fact, because I was definitely one of those people. Not that it was hip hop all day, but I definitely, Vince will tell you, I definitely used to laugh at y'all crump niggas.
Oh, I know.
I used to be like,
You
yo,
laughed
what
at me
is
a couple times,
Yeah,
but I
laughed at
still
Jordan a
love
couple,
you,
and
so.
we've had conversations. We've never been to a point where we've had words, but we've had conversations, and my explanation was always my big thing is, like, my whole life I've been on beat. And I didn't understand the crump cadence.
Rhythm cadence.
The rhythm and cadence. So I'm like, this is the only style that I know that gratifies being off beat. This shit is ass. It makes no sense to me.
He was adamant
and
about
I was
it.
like
He was
this
adamant.
for 10 years. As long as me and Vince have been friends, I have been like this. Like, bro.
And he
y'all
came to
niggas
Vegas
look
and got to
crazy.
work. And
Exactly. I
we
came to
told him
Vegas-
how it is.
I came to Vegas and I got the scrolls.
Yeah.
I actually took the time. I matured in my dance career and in my dance journey being out here, because we are amongst the greats.
Yeah.
I tell everybody that I talk to from back home in Baltimore, on the East Coast, all that. If you come to Vegas, you are among the elite. This is the NBA.
Yeah.
If you're great and you're seen wherever you are, whether it be Chicago, Florida, even LA, you come to Vegas, bro, this is the big leagues. We're not in Kansas anymore.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So even
tell
if
people
you
that all the time.
even a guy like
And
me,
it's a melting pot.
Exactly. Even
That
a guy
part.
like me who had my career moments are more from a DJ perspective than a dancer perspective. I automatically leveled up just being around, just seeing and conversing and being amongst you guys.
Yeah.
So it's like I had no choice but to accept it, because I want to spend time with y'all. I want to hang out with my friends, and a lot of y'all are crumpers.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I guess I go to this motherfucking Hype Street. I guess I go to this nigga Mob's house and see what's up, because I want to chill with Vince and Colossal and all them niggas and see Dre and see what's
and
going
we be
on.
up in Jordan's house too. We be up in Fry's house,
up
getting
in the crib, yeah,
up in
going
the crib,
crazy. But
going.
and then I learned the house rules, bro.
House rules.
House rules is
Hey, yo,
nuts.
that's-
Hey,
Yeah.
man. I'm
Me
telling you.
and Terry had
Small
a
plug.
battle. in
Small
that
plug.
zone.
That was
great. But anyway, the point that I'm making is that it truly is a blessing to be able to be a part of a culture so rich and deep. You know what I mean?
My stomach bubbling, yo.
His stomach.
crazy.
Celsius.
His stomach.
crazy.
His stomach was pissed off. Like,
Yeah,
hey,
his
bro,
stomach
you
was
ain't
like,
fed
hey,
me
yo,
yet.
Relax on the crump.
Jesus, I
Hey,
need to eat
relax
again.
on the crump talk. But yeah,
that man
the
growled.
culture, learning about the culture and realizing how rich and deep it is, it just gave me an appreciation for it even more. And I'm thankful that you guys allowed me to do that. So that shit is,
And we
shit is
appreciate
super
you being
dope.
a real student.
Nah, I appreciate y'all.
Well, hey,
man.
on this portion of the episode, what we do is we try to get deep. We talk about mental health.
shit.
We talk about the real issues of men.
I can
man.
feel your
Whatever you are, you know what I'm saying? Like we want to get.
crying out for me.
I love it.
Oh man.
Was that Mario?
Shout out to Baltimore.
Crying out for me. Okay.
I can't.
So on the mental health struggle situation, right? As a man, we know that mental health is very important. Were there any tough periods where crump became more than just art, or has it always been more than just art, where it was just survival? Like, I know we talked about the fact that like you took buses for hours to crump. Obviously, crump has to mean something to you. So what does it mean to you in the mental health aspect?
Crump in a mental health aspect is one of the key reasons why I'm still alive in a lot of different areas, because like we were talking about earlier, until the age of 13, when I first moved to LA, I was just a kid that was just fighting to stay alive. I always in and out of the hospital, IVs, tubes, 2-3 weeks in the hospital at a time, every year. Seeing 6-7 doctors every doctor's visit. Like it was always extensive. And Crump became that backpack where I could put everything I was going to into it and it would go away. It was really, it has always been something for me that it gives me a reason to strive, because living normal as a man, crazy in this day and time. Living as a man with a terminal illness in a how would you say this? In a production-based dance, like
In a performance-based.
Thank you. Like in a performance-based dance, it can overtake you if you're not careful.
Yeah.
And for me, it was like I came in when Crump, yes, it was, Kingdom Radically Uplifted, Mighty Praise, but it was all those things to release anger, to release emotion, to release and become whole again.
Yeah.
That's what Crump was when it began.
Yeah.
That was what helped me. That is what kept me alive. Crump is mainly the reason I have been able to stay steadfast, health-wise, mentally, physically. It's given me a lot. And because I have a real personal relationship with the energy that's Crump, I am constantly giving everything I've got to it, because that's what it calls for.
Yeah.
For
like
sure.
What a lot of people don't understand about Crump these days is that, like, if you take away the skill, you take away the popularity, you take away the ego, you take away the character, all you have is breath and movement. Whenever you breathe, that is literally the Aramaic spiritual way of saying Yahweh, saying Yeshua, saying God. Every time you breathe, you are saying God. My movements are only that in which to show my gratitude for that breath. And then I take all the things that life tries to pile on me and I put it in that. And because I do that, the Crump energy gives me the good energy and gives me the stamina and gives me the buck.
Filters
gives
it
me
out.
the life. Yeah, it gives me everything I need.
Yeah.
So as long as it's that for me, I will never stop doing this dance. Because that is the relationship with Crump that Crump wants to have with everybody. But if you are not in tune mentally, spiritually, in your heart, if you're not in tune with that, if you're not willing to listen to that, it's gonna always be hard for you.
Yeah.
Right.
So for me, it's like it's way more than just the dance. Like I wake up, I feel like sometimes with Crump telling me things. It tells me things. It will tell me how to move. Especially days I got battles and different stuff and performing and different stuff like that. Crump will literally tell me where to go, what to do, and how to move. And when you experience that, it's for me, it's way more than just getting live. Like I have a real personal friend. That's why I've been such a lone wolf for 15 years in Crump. No matter what fam I was in, no matter what big homie I had, that's why I was okay, because I cared more about that. A lot of people think, oh, well, you just wanted validation. No, I wanted family. Crump is my family. The energy is my family. The spirit is my family. The people that are of like-mindedness are the people that are attracted to me and get to stay around me. But if you're not like-mindedness of me, I'm not going to be here for long.
Exactly.
So
yeah, and I think to piggyback off of that question, which that was amazing, by the way. I think I'll just get straight to it. You know me. We've been friends since I've moved out here, and we've shared personal moments. And you've met my children, you've met my wife, you've been around. So I've been able to see you grow the last 5-6 years within this journey and everything like that. Because we're always learning, we're always striving to be better. And I wouldn't really call this a question, but this is more opening up a conversation. Over the years, obviously you have your reputation, right? And the image that people see you as, right? I hear all these, I'm not on the Crump page, but I hear all these things where people like pick at you and they try to break you down and things like that, whether it's intentional or not, because obviously we're all jokers, right? We all play jokes and make fun. But I remember specifically when it was you versus Zay, there was a lot of smack talk and stuff going back and forth and things like that. And even seeing you in battles where you maybe felt you shouldn't have lost. It wasn't a justified loss. It wasn't something that you felt like you should have taken. Like even the last battle that we had, where we kind of went back and forth for a little bit with the music.
Well, that was just a discussion.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. It's not even. It's for us. It's not heavy because we are here. But to the people that don't know you, they see that and they're like, "Why is this guy always crying? Why is this guy always bitching? Why is this guy always doing this, this?" So for me, I want to give you the opportunity to open this up and explain: is it passion? Do you genuinely feel wronged? Like, what causes you to get to that point? When you lose, you're just, Dred's gone. He stormed off. Oh, he's probably pissed. He's this, he's that. But I feel like there's something missing with that, where it's like people don't understand you, so they assume, right? Me, because I've always been a guy that has been like, just give him a chance. You know, we're gonna laugh, we're gonna joke. Yeah, he stormed off, he's upset. But just understand, because I know what it's like to be passionate about something and it just not work, right? And especially in a business where it's results oriented. And you know, I mean, being a poker player, you learn to not be results oriented like myself. So
small plug: if you want to win some money, take Jordan with you to the poker.
Don't do that. Don't start that.
No, I've watched him make some money, y'all.
No,
He playing.
Don't start that.
I've watched Vince. I know you over here. You laugh. We seen him make some money.
Yeah, come on now.
I mean, to quick straight to it. Yes, it is passion, and yes, I do feel wronged because back to what I was saying, a lot of people just don't know how to judge Crump. So the high level shit I'm doing, you are not gonna understand it. It's gonna look like gibberish to you.
For sure.
Until you take the moment to go, hey, some of the stuff you're doing, I don't understand it, and you've had this type of conversation with me. That's why I respect you enough, because people will judge not knowing. People will judge not understanding, which makes you, in my eyes, disqualified. I don't know every style, but when I judge, I know the foundation of what to look for.
Thanks.
Any style that you bring me, I can say, okay, that's a break-in, that's a six-step, that's a flare, that's a power move, that's a pose, that's up rock, top rock, popping, baby free. Like any style you bring me to, I know technique and skill when I see it. So when you try to tell me, someone that's 480,000 hours of a style that I have put my fucking, excuse my language, put my fucking life into, you're gonna tell me that little baby stanky leg that did the goddamn twist twirl with a split beat me? No, I'm not going to take it, but I have matured where I'm not going to walk around and stale the environment with my displeasure.
For sure.
Amen.
I will definitely walk away and let it be what it is, because passion is very misunderstood in the moment. Amen. And I'm not going to mess up the environment for everyone else that's having a good time because I lost. I would rather remove myself and go home.
Hell yeah. I also agree too, like to piggyback and also add to that, I feel like most people in that moment, in the heat of the passion, aren't mature enough to be able to separate personal from passion.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like it takes a special person to sit back and be like, how much of this is really like, damn, he's pissed at me, versus he's upset in the moment, but if we were to talk about it in like 5 minutes, we can have a creative discussion about this. You know what I'm saying? But I also feel like, and this goes for not only our scene, but everyone, every scene that I've been to, and there's not a lot of places that I haven't been with this dance shit. I feel like a lot of dancers are not humble enough to be able to explain themselves without it coming off as egotistical.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't want to sit here and admit that they made a bad call. If they feel if everybody sees it, right? Yeah. Like I've seen over the years some of the craziest swindles ever. And when you ask the judge, why did you do that? Oh, well, I don't feel like explaining. I don't have to explain myself. I'm the judge. If you didn't like it, just don't dance. That, like, what was that? What was that? World of Dance New Jersey. They had some people come and judge, and I was watching the footage, and I talked to one of the homies, and I was like, bro, that was a 30. Like, what? Why are y'all going again? Well, they said they wanted to see another round. They enjoyed watching him dance. Even though I absolutely dogged his shit, they wanted him to dance another round because it was fun for them, right? So it's like, I feel as event organizers, not only do we have to vet our judges better, but also, even if we have some of the greatest talents, do we really want them judging?
Some people that have talent do not need to be judges. They
Facts.
just need to be an example of great talent.
And this is a conversation that can go on for hours.
Yes.
Spit it out.
But I tell people all the time, I say teaching, judging, and performing are 3 different things.
Facts.
I'm a very, very, very good teacher.
I agree.
I'm a very, very good judge. But performing, on the other hand, I might not be the best. You might be all 3. You might be good at 1. Understand what you're good at and run with it. Why do you think I teach a lot? Lil Mafioso is a perfect example. A year's time that's what happens when you give somebody the foundation and they run with it. You get what I'm saying? So I tell people all the time, I'm like, Lamont, for real. A lot of people don't look at him as like up there, but people don't understand that a pretty decent amount of the crumpers in Vegas came from him. Rada. He's twin real right now. Still till this day.
And
Saint.
Crush. Jesus.
You get what I'm saying? Saint. He's Barrio.
Oh, Barrio? Yeah.
He
He's
was
twin rider.
He's twin rider, but he was Soldier Real.
Mm-hmm.
Me, Barrio, and Jarrell all came from Lamont's legacy. Mm-hmm. And Lamont was never the
cool
top
guy.
tier
Yeah, he was
or cream of the crop guy or
you
whatever.
Get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, he was a great dancer. He was dope at Crump. He did a lot of gigs in Vegas, and then he got his big break when he started DJing. If you remember, at the Arc in 2015. Mm-hmm. And then that's when he started traveling real tough. But the point I'm making is you can literally, like, see people. Like you said, you can tell skill and technique in anything. That's a judge. A teacher can break down everything you do and tell you how to do it better. And a lot of people can't do that nowadays. I'm personally, if you ain't over 30 years old, you don't need to be in judging panel.
That's fair.
Man,
I also think
25.
I also
say
think
25 because you were
more
born
realistic.
Facts.
2000.
I also think
saying?
too, like, a lot to wrap this up. Like, I also think too that a lot of people forget or don't realize, like, some of the greatest coaches in the world were some of the worst players.
Exactly.
Right? Tell me a Phil Jackson highlight tape you've ever seen.
Literally, bro.
And Phil Jackson was a gat, but he didn't score. All he did was get garbage time.
And that's
but he's the greatest NBA coach ever. He coached arguably number 1 and number 2 greatest players of all time, and led them to multiple championships.
And that's
you know
what
I'm
people
saying?
don't really understand is, like, you don't have to be good at everything.
That's why, but that's another point of why that's why I asked you earlier. Is it like, even if somebody doesn't have accolades, could you respect them as a judge, right?
If they can explain
it.
If you get Phil Jackson in here right now, he'll explain exactly why he did what he did.
Exactly.
Yep.
He'll explain the triangle offense.
The
all
defining
of that.
factor.
Exactly. And I feel like there's so many people that are so gifted in this shit, bro. Mm-hmm. They wake up one day and they just got it. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's like, because they got it, they don't understand what it's like to go get it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. You know
It's
what I
that
mean?
entitlement.
It is, bro.
It's growing up with a trust fund instead of having
sick,
to go get
bro. Yeah, it's a sick world. But it also, to be fair, the dance scene is so healthy right now. A lot of great events going on. A lot of people getting shine that weren't getting shine before. Also, not that I particularly like this, but a lot of guys that were getting shine, getting exposed for actually not being that good and only being available. Yeah. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's way different to be a great dancer versus an available dancer. Yeah. Right? You know, I make the argument of, everybody says Nicki Minaj is the greatest female rapper of all time. Well, it was easy because all of the greats before her were either in jail or going through something.
Or they were in their 40s.
Exactly. Remy Ma was in jail. Yeah. Cardi B hadn't come out yet. Yeah. Lauryn Hill was going through her mental state. And Missy Elliott went on the producer route. So
Lil'
it's
Kim
like, again,
lost herself. Foxy Brown lost
come on
herself.
now. And that's what I'm saying. Like,
MC Light,
it was an opening.
Exactly. It was an opening. So that's what I'm saying. Like, some people are opportunists. Other people are, the ones that grind. They cultivated that. So, yeah.
Well, hey, on that note, we're going to let y'all go. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. Do us a favor, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff that you
That was the last question.
Oh. Dread, we welcome you. We thank you. We thank you for being here.
Appreciate it.
Violent Crush. Shout out to CCRFK.
Violent Swindle.
And then if you guys want to hit him up, his Instagram is under his face right now. It should be showing soon. That's and mine. Then other than that, we appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good one. We'll see y'all next time. Peace. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Hive Hustle Podcast. Do me a favor, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. Also, follow our partner, Swarm Branding. We'll see y'all next time.